shooters, shooters, shooters on shooters on shooters on shooters. Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm Part 45, one too many iterations. I'm sorry for that, that was just my war dance. Again, I hope you're still watching this, hope you're still alive. Had, again, I don't know, another 15 mass shootings in the past 2 days or some shit. So that's pretty good. Had to bring out the Kevlar again. Math and science today. That single might be dropping soon, I don't know. Literally just made that shit up. But talk about a proof. Keep trying to develop an original novel proof. Again, our sweeping physical observation is there are 3 iterations to a shadow, or there are 3 something to a shadow. Let's try to just put words on that observation and directly produce a proof. But the first proof I want to talk about is a very interesting one. Full disclosure, I googled was the AP physics test released beforehand, because it would be way more interesting if it wasn't released. Just if you're not from the United States, AP physics is like advanced placement for high schoolers, and you can get college credit if you're in these tests. And like an organization of people sit down and produce an exam that's distributed to the entire country. And so like I think they release them once every 4 years, but the reason it'd be more interesting is if it wasn't released is because you wouldn't be able to see these things yet. But 2012, I was a senior in high school. Senior in high school. I took the 2012 AP physics proof. It's a multiple choice section, and then there's a free response section. And one of the free response section questions was, there's a rotating wheel, and it begins to slide. And I remember taking it, I remember reading the sentence, and what happened was, is you asked a question in proper ontology in a mechanics course, right? We've been talking quantum mechanics isn't unique, and then there wasn't any math tools to actually answer the question. Again, the national, I forget exactly how they score these tests, but it's like, it's all weighted. It's not like people don't get like 100%, you just get a percentage and then it's whatever, they curve the tests. But it was a big thing like throughout the country of like an extremely low scoring on the tests. Vibe, slide, glide. You can't avoid the fundamental theorem of logic, like literally anytime you structure a sentence. And then we see in history, in a physics test, again, an organization of the entire nation sits down and says, let's ask a physics question. They can't avoid the proper ontology, and then you can't answer it with Newtonian mechanics. So I took this test. Again, anyone who took the 2012, I'm sure will remember that one. But again, a correct question literally without the mathematical tools at the society level. Truly very, very interesting. Now back to our observation. Again, a shadow has 3 iterations. So the words I want to use to describe that is base, iteration, iteration. One too many, right? Many iterations. Right? How many iterations of life are there? Talk about sensorality as the word representing life. How many different species are there? Many iterations. And then we've also said, right, quarter, half, and whole as the only note durations. Let's generalize that and say whole, division, division. Meaning you take one whole note, you cut it in half, you have a half note, cut that in half, again you have a quarter note. But, right, you can't have a shadow without an object in the way. You can't divide a note that doesn't exist. So this is clearly resolving for me as the same logical identification. But the whole division thing, and again trying to articulate exactly we've talked about basis and range in mathematical operators. And iteration should be some range of applicability of the mathematical operator multiplication. And we've talked about integration, right? That should be some form of the mathematical operator adding, right? If I iterate, I do something multiple times. If I integrate something, I add it to something. So again, trying to differentiate the actual mathematical operators, but we can just state a clear mathematical result. At the very beginning of these episodes, again, literally 2 years ago, proof by empirical demonstration, I am iterating this logic. We said, why can't you divide by 0, and then we're going to answer it on the next clip. And we didn't answer it. We kind of have now, right? We've shown the one-way unique, or we've said that 0 doesn't represent any physical object. But we've now demonstrated the unique one-way progression of the physical universe, right? And in physics, you can say, at the beginning of time, maybe that was the big crunch, or some expansion before. We don't really, 0 is the symbolic representation of no knowledge, of before the vibration, something like that. And then we show the iteration function as jumps, as steps. And so, why can't you divide by 0? Again, because it's not a number, it's not applicable to a number field. But this whole division, this is exactly why, physically, why any 0 divided by any number n always equals 0 for all n that are elements of the reals. And now we've shown again a bunch of prime number limitations, a bunch of number field limitations, why irrational numbers don't really, right, the iterations of the shadow, the 3 discrete things, that's kind of why, right, there's clean divisions, there's no irrational numbers, stuff like that. That is a clear empirical physical proof of why 0 divided by any number n is 0. And it directly answers why you can't divide by 0. But they're not equivalent physical statements. Let me make sure I'm still rolling. So now up here on the board, I just have daily derivation. Again, that's literally what I'm doing each day when I upload these new videos. I'm watching CNBC all day, getting new data. I'm sitting outside all day doing derivations. And then I reduce all of them and I come make a lecture about it. But I'm going to read you a bunch of different logical results. Again, I can literally just list these things. But this is how I solve math. And I just started with, again, our simple result. A prime number is an uniterated number. And we talk about natural opposites. Even that statement strikes me as uniterated. That's going to be going away soon. But composition and iteration. Composite numbers iterate factors. Iteration is redundancy. Prime is peak. Peak is optimal. Prime is base. Base, basic. Opposition, composition, consolidation, solidification. Association solidifies definition. Resolution, definition. Define, definite. Finite, definite. Definite, infinite. Finite. Infinite is not definite. Iteration refines definition. What is a definition? Definition is not infinite. And so, again, that's just, trying to put a range number statement, like the 7, what's going on. But right, definitions are definite. Infinity is not definite. So those are just the results of the prime numbers that I drove yesterday. And those are kind of all of the only numeric or formal math results I've had in the past couple of days. And now we'll just get back to a linguistic discussion and a simple conjecture. So again, nothing important, well not important, but I don't know if it's big or not, but where do silent letters come from? I don't know, rhythm, pronunciation. I'd even say conjugation here. I mean, there's got to be some reason silent letters exist. Why do we call them silent letters? Because we don't speak them, and there are no words with no vowels. I don't know, random thought. And now the last thing I want to end with for this episode is a simple conjecture. Right? We've introduced a very simple idea. Because of infinite biological uniqueness, each word has a unique definition. Prime is unique. And how does range and syllables expand and contract and relate? But we've said preservation of pronunciation. So I just have 4 words up here. If you can see them, I'll spell them out and I want you to pronounce them. The first one, Lonnex. L-I-N-E-S-S. Loneliness. The state of being lonely is loneliness. Yes or no? Yes. Happiness. I'm not going to spell it out. H-A-P-P-I-N-E-S-S. The state of being happy. Craziness. C-R-A-Z-I-N-E-S-S. Now I want you to pronounce this next one. B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S. Busyness. Wait a second. Isn't that business or is that busyness? What's the state of busy called if it's not busyness? Seems like a pretty straightforward conjecture, but the difference is one pronunciation has 2 syllables and one pronunciation has 3 syllables. So, talk a lot about the letter I representing the sound E. So why is that logically wrong to you? If you're at business, if you have business to take care of, are you busy? So that resolves something, or that it's evidence of something. The 2 to 3 syllables, that's something. But my point to you is there should be some convincing linguistical reason. Like I said, logically that makes sense. Busyness is business. If you have business to take care of, you don't have free time. You're not available. So I just wanted to, again, don't really know what the final result, reduced final result is now. Again, we proved there's more letters than numbers, which that's fucking obvious. And now we're at this other big conjecture that the word people conventionalize business should be busyness. And remember, we've talked about personal vocabularies and societal ontologies. What's going on there? Thank you for watching From Rhythm to Algorithm Part 45. 1 too many iterations. Get yourself a bulletproof vest. Don't forget your clown wigs for your AP Physics test when they ask you questions you literally can't answer because the mathematics literally doesn't exist yet. And keep enjoying your America. Thanks for watching Part 45.